Never stop reading the Bible. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into Psalms 6 through 10. These chapters, well, they really give you a powerful look into the whole range of faith and the human spirit. Some pretty intense stuff in here.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how much raw human emotion is packed into just these few psalms. You really get a feel for the different ways, people connect with God, from like total despair right up to absolute joy.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit, starting with Song 6. Now, this one's known as one of the 7 penitential psalms, right? It really doesn't pull any punches about suffering and needing mercy.
No, it doesn't. And what's really striking, I think, is the vulnerability. You've got someone like David, who we usually see as this, strong figure. But here, he's just completely laid bare by his sin. He's pleading, really pleading, for relief from what feels like God's anger.
Yeah.
It's quite a reminder, isn't it, that even leaders, people seen as righteous, they grapple with their own failings and that deep need for forgiveness.
You can almost feel it, can't you? The physical and emotional weight in his words. But even in all that anguish, there's still this core belief that God's loving kindness is where you turn. It's like this move from utter despair towards just a glimmer of hope.
Exactly. That shift right at the end where he suddenly sounds confident his prayer's been heard. That's key.
Yeah.
It points to a dynamic relationship, I think, where even when you're convicted of sin, there's still that possibility of restoration.
Then you hit Psalm 7, and wow, it's a completely different energy.
Totally different.
Now David's facing accusations, Saul's hunting him, and he's just fiercely declaring he's innocent. What's the heart of this one?
Well, here David appeals straight to God. God is the just judge. He's so sure he's in the right that he basically says, look, if I'm guilty, bring the judgment down on me.
Wow.
It really highlights this strong belief in divine justice, that truth and righteousness will win out in the end. Such a contrast to the self-blame in Psalm 6.
It really makes you think about the different facets of faith. Sometimes it's about owning your mistakes, like in 6. Other times it's about standing firm when you're wronged, trusting that, well, a higher power sees the truth.
Precisely. And if you look at them together, these psalms start painting a much fuller picture of how someone might relate to God through all kinds of life situations.
And then comes Psalm 8, another big shift.
A huge shift.
You go from all that personal struggle right into this awe-filled look at God's creation and sort of where humanity fits in it all. What's the main takeaway there?
Psalm 8 is just expansive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It zooms out from the cosmos, the stars, the moon, down to us, humanity, seeming so small in comparison. But then it emphasizes that God deliberately gave humankind this special role, this dominion.
Yeah.
That question, what is mankind, that you are mindful of them? It just echoes, doesn't it? Makes you reflect on, well, our responsibility as stewards.
It's pretty humbling when you think about it, that in all that vastness, humanity has this special place and purpose. Definitely inspires a bit of wonder and maybe accountability, too.
Absolutely. You can imagine the community reciting this, feeling that sense of awe and gratitude.
Okay, now Psalms 9 and 10. These are often linked, I hear, but they seem to present a kind of tension. Psalm 9 kicks off with thanksgiving.
Yes. Psalm 9 is just this outpouring of thanks for God's help in the past, his just judgments, very strong sense of victory, praise for enemies being defeated.
Right. But then you turn the page, metaphorically speaking, to Psalm 10, and it's a lament.
It is.
It's a cry of pain, confusion, asking why the wicked seem to be getting away with everything, why the sharp contrast.
Well, that juxtaposition is incredibly real, isn't it? It reflects life.
Yeah.
Faith isn't always just smooth sailing and victories. There are times of real suffering, real questioning, when injustice just seems to be winning. Psalm 10 gives voice to that struggle.
Okay.
It shows that lament, that crying out, is also a completely valid part of faith.
So it's almost like this internal dialogue, celebrating God's justice one minute and then questioning where it is the next.
Exactly.
It really shows how complex it is navigating faith when the world doesn't always seem fair.
And that brings up such a crucial point, I think. These psalms, all of them together, they give us this kind of framework, a way to engage with God through the whole spectrum of human experience, the highs of gratitude, the lows of lament. They basically say it's okay to bring all of yourself into that relationship.
They really do. From confessing our worst failings to celebrating the universe and wrestling with injustice from the center studio.